Hi, hello everyone. I'm really sorry that it took so much time before I release this video. It's going to be like that until August. I won't have a lot of time to release videos because I'm in the middle of my extension of stay. I'm saying that in every video, but unfortunately every 2 years I have to do that, and it's very stressful and it takes a lot of my time because I must gather a lot of documents while doing my usual work. So it's like if I was doing two jobs at the same time. Of course, I have a lawyer who takes care of it, but I'm still the one who provides the documents. So yes, it's a lot of work and I'm sorry about that. Also, in my last video, I talked about Paul McCartney and the Beatles. The documentary which is on Disney Plus, Get Back. I thought that a lot of people were going to be happy because initially my channel was about music. And I thought that the people who were there for the music would be happy because I was talking about music. And actually, I had a bunch of people who unsubscribed from my channel. So I'm a little confused because I don't know why people are subscribed to my channel. If you can tell me why you are here and what do you want, it would help me, because my problem is that I'm interested in a lot of things. I'm a very curious person, and I of course love music. That it has always been like that, and I still do. I absolutely love arts and crafts because I've been doing art all my life, and I was an arts and craft teacher, and I wrote a book about arts and craft in France, and I had workshops, and that was my job. I was doing demonstration of arts and crafts. So of course that is who I am, and of course it does interest me. But I may also be interested in decluttering my home. I may be also interested in politics sometimes, mostly French politics, because I'm not sure that I perfectly understand American politics, except for when the president is elected. That I understand. And I love talking about Los Angeles and showing places where I go, and I try not to, but sometimes I would love to show my family here. A lot of things which interest me, and the problem is that some people may not be here for one or the other reason. So what I suggest is that when the subject doesn't interest you, maybe skip the video, and when it does interest you, watch the video. If you tell me why you are here mostly, it will help me to understand what kind of subscriber I have. I try to do my best. The problem is that also I'm a person, and I'm a human being, and I have some different interests in my life outside of all these subjects, these topics that I talked about. My latest subject which interests me, and it's not going to be very original, it's the trial about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Honestly, I don't know how we say honestly, I would have never thought that I would be interested in that, because it's the last thing which usually would interest me. Everything around Hollywood and the stars and all that, it doesn't interest me. I'm not very into movies. I'm into music. I may be interested in music inside a movie, but I'm not really a movie fan. There are some movies that I like, but I don't go very often to the movie. Actually, I never go to the movie. The rare movies that I watch, it's mostly on Netflix, maybe on, I don't know, Hulu, or I have Disney Plus now, so maybe I will watch more films on Disney Plus. That's possible, but I'm not into I'm not into movies. I don't like everything which is kind of superficial, fake. I'm not very interested in actors or actresses. It's not that I have something against them, I'm just not interested, and that's it. I'm not especially a Johnny Depp fan. I'm not at all an Amber Heard fan. I barely knew her. So I had no reason to be for one or the other. I arrived almost neutral. I'm going to explain to you why. I've always known Johnny Depp. He's very famous. When I was very younger, I would say, I watched Jump Street as much as I could, because I remember that the schedule was not very convenient for me, but sometimes I was stumbling on Jump Street and I was watching and I was liking it, and I liked Johnny Depp in it. That's how I knew who was Johnny Depp, so a very long time ago. And I think that I watched maybe only one movie with him. How is it called? And the Chocolate Factory. There is a first name, I don't know, William, Willie, I don't remember. And the Chocolate Factory. I went to the movies to watch this film, not because I wanted to, but because I had my younger son with me and his cousin, and they wanted to go, and I went with them. That's why I watched that film, and I liked it. And I have nothing to say bad about how Johnny Depp was playing. He was perfect. But I'm not going to tell you that I became a big fan of Johnny Depp by getting out of the movies. No, I was like, oh, that's good, okay. But I had another way to know Johnny Depp. It's when he married, no, he didn't marry, when he started his relationship with Vanessa Paradis. Vanessa Paradis is a star in France. She's an icon. She's almost like Brigitte Bardot in France. Younger, of course. Why? Because she started so young. She was a little girl when we saw her for the first time on TV. And then when she was 14, she had a hit. So we knew her from her childhood. And somehow we consider her like our daughter. You know, I'm older than her. I don't know. I couldn't be her mother. But still, no, I couldn't be her mother. But still, she's younger than me, and I consider her like a daughter. Yes, because we saw her starting so young. In our mind, she's still our baby, you know, even though she's a mother and she could almost be grandmother, and she's not a baby anymore, of course, but we have a tendency to protect her. And she's such a kind, it seems, I don't know her personally, but she seems such a kind person. And she's really adorable and so cute, and she sings really well, and on stage she's really good. And she had incredible composer who wrote for her, like Lenny Kravitz, like Serge Gainsbourg. Serge Gainsbourg wrote lyrics for her on a whole album. Louis Chédid's son, Mathieu Chédid. It's famous people in France. Now her husband, I think, wrote for her. She's a very talented girl, a woman. She's very talented. And when she started her story with Johnny Depp, I was very happy because I liked Johnny Depp. I liked her. I know that she was very sad when the story ended with Lenny Kravitz, because she was with Lenny Kravitz during a while. I remember that she was crying a lot about that. So I thought, Johnny Depp is kind of... yes, I understand why she likes Johnny Depp. It's the kind of person that she would like, that she would love. So there was a logic behind that, and I think that they were good together. And herself, she doesn't look like Kate Moss, but It's the same kind of woman, so I understood why Johnny Depp liked her. He likes this kind of woman. That made me happy for them. And then they had children, so she was living in Los Angeles with her children and Johnny Depp. She seemed really happy. So of course, when he, because I understood that he broke up with her, or more exactly, she wanted to break up because he was interested in someone else. So when they got separated, because they were never married, when they got separated, I was a little upset. I was a little disappointed in him. And I was a little mad at him, even if it's none of my business. It doesn't change anything in my life, you know. But I was like, who does he think he is? How dare he do that to Vanessa Paradis? You don't do that. Well, men do that, but I was a little mad at him. So then I completely lost my interest in him. I was like, okay, I'm done with Johnny Depp. How dare he do that to this woman who is wonderful, and to his kids, because unfortunately it's always the children who pay the high price, unfortunately. So I remember when he divorced from this Amber Heard a few years ago, I didn't get a lot of interest in his divorce, except that I saw a few shots of her during the trial, and I was finding her really rude. I was thinking, what is that? He left Vanessa Paradis for that? I thought that really it was ridiculous, and that this woman was ridiculous. And I didn't know the whole story. I didn't care about the story. I was like, okay, you wanted her, you got her, now here is what is happening. And then they settled and the story stopped, and anyway, I don't care about these things. Yes, it's things that really usually don't interest me at all. I would have probably not paid any attention to it if he was not the ex-partner of Vanessa Paradis. So when the trial started, now in April, I think, I was like, oh, not again. Oh no. And it's in the middle of a war in Ukraine, you know, with Putin, who is threatening us. And I thought, seriously, that's the only thing that we are going to talk about now? Seriously? You know, I thought this is so ridiculous and out of place in this situation, this present situation. And I was so watching the French news, and they were talking about the trial with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and I thought, oh no, at the French news too? And then the American news, and then I was going on YouTube, and I was seeing videos there, and it was all over the place, and I was like, oh no. Really no interest in that at all. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to go inside that. No, no, no. And I went inside that. Well, I got some interest in that. At the beginning, I saw Johnny Depp answering questions. It touched me. I thought, oh, there is something there. He has been beaten up by this woman? Wow. I thought that's brave for a man like that to admit it, to say it loud to the world. And then she went to start talking and answering the questions. And then when I saw that, first it was very difficult for me to listen to her. I was feeling so uncomfortable listening to this woman. And at the beginning I didn't know why. I was finding her creepy. And I was like, no, I'm going to listen to it once it's done, you know, like small pieces, not the whole thing, because I just can't, I can't. But little by little, I started listening to her more and more, and I was like, why I find her so creepy? And suddenly I realized that I couldn't believe one word of what she was saying. For me, it was obvious that she was lying. And I hate liars. I hate people who lie. I cannot stand that. I can't bear that. I want to slap them. You know, I usually don't slap people, but I can't bear that. It's for me, I prefer someone who did something wrong and who admits it and who apologize. There is a saying in French, we say faute avouée à moitié pardonnée. It means a mistake that you admit to have done, a mistake, and you admit to have done it. It's half forgiven. It's half forgiven because you admitted that you did it. So, okay, you admit it. It's the beginning of forgiveness. And I think it's true. I'm ready to forgive people who did something wrong because we are human and we do mistakes. But someone who lies in front of you, and it's filmed, she's lying in front of the whole world, and she seems so entitled and so arrogant, and the way she's looking at people, it made me so uncomfortable. I was like very pissed off. At the beginning, the news were rather on her side, and they were saying, oh, it's incredible all what happened to her, it's terrible. And I was like, what? Am I the only one to realize that she's lying? Or am I crazy? Or am I paranoid or what? So I started watching the comments about the trial and about Amber Heard by lawyers who know their job and who can explain to us how the trial is happening, what is going on, you know, with all these objections and leading hearsay, and we have that in France, so I know what it is about, but sometimes I don't understand why they are saying hearsay or leading. So there are some lawyers who explain to us why they say that in that specific situation. I think that I understood now. So that was very interesting for me. Yes, I learned a lot from a legal point of view. So you must know I'm giving you my own opinion, my personal opinion. I'm just a woman. I'm not a lawyer myself. I studied law in France, but I was studying economics. And when you study economics, you study also business law. And I was doing also another exam, another study for accountancy, where I had a lot of law lessons. Business law, also social law, a little of penal, how we say that in English? A penal, it's when you go because you killed someone or you stole something. And also some tax law. But that was in France a very long time ago, and French laws are not the same and in the US, especially here. Each state has its own law, so this is happening in Virginia, which is not the same law as in California, so it's very specific. So I cannot tell you from a legal point of view things because I'm not a lawyer, even less an American lawyer. I know a little the law, but not enough to say that I'm an expert. No, I'm not. And I learned that a very long time ago. So the law changed a lot with time in France as in the US. So I'm not an expert. I'm here as my person, giving you my personal feeling and opinion, and it's only about what I think. I'm not saying that it is the truth. So you must do your own opinion, but don't have an opinion without watching the trial. Because if you don't watch the trial and you say, oh, I think Amber Heard is right, or I think that Johnny Depp is right, you are wrong, because you must listen to the trial from the beginning to the end to have the right opinion. So I was listening to all these lawyers thinking the same thing as I do. So I thought, okay, I'm not completely crazy, I'm not paranoid, I'm not insane. They see the same thing as I'm seeing. I felt a little comforted in my opinion. But I think that the worst was during the cross-examination when she lied openly in front of us by such a ridiculous way. We show her something on a video or something written or an audio, and she says the contrary, even though we heard what is true at the beginning. And she says, no, I never said that, or no, I never did that. And she's lying, and everyone knows she's lying because we have the proof that she's lying. And I think that the worst is when Camille Vasquez, who is one of the attorneys of Johnny Depp, and she did the cross-examination, when she was asking about the money that Amber Heard was supposed to give to a charity organization. So Camille Vasquez said, you never gave the $7 million to these charity organizations. And Amber Heard said, yes, I pledged that money. But it's not about pledging, it's about really actually giving the money, donating the money. And yes, I pledge, and she started again, yes, I pledge. Yes, because for me, pledging and giving, it's the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. I'm not American. English is not my first language, but I know the difference between pledging and giving or donating. And it lasted several minutes like that. And finally, she said, no, I didn't give the money, but it's because Johnny sued me in a trial, so I needed the money for the trial. But actually, she had the money 1 year before. She had the whole time she could to give the money. But she lied to the media, saying that the money was donated. The money was not donated. And she lies about everything. Everything. What is incredible is that people who are not in the court, who are not doing the trial, who are outside, are watching every recording, every shot of her, what she does, every photo that she gave, and we find proof that she's lying. Like, she left a makeup kit which is used to create bruise, on the face for the cinema, for the movies. She take a photo of something, but on the photo she forgot that she left this makeup kit, which helps to create bruises on the face. Can you believe that? Another thing, there is a guy who made a video about how Johnny Depp couldn't break the bed as she showed. It's impossible because he's a carpenter, I think, and he knows how the wood breaks. And his video is very interesting. I will try to put it in my description box because you must watch that. I'm very interested in furniture and everything crafted and wood. And so, of course, I was interested in this video. And he showed how it can only be done. It can only be done by a knife or something pointy, and by levering, I don't know how we say, yes, by doing some pressure like that to pull up the wood. And what he's showing is at the end of the video, he's showing a tool on the bed that they left. Amber and her friends, they left that on the bed. It's probably the tool which was used to do that. So it cannot be Johnny Depp. There is also a video when we see her in court putting something in her mouth. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just chewing gum, or maybe it's just candy, maybe it's drug, I don't know. But it's the way she does it, like she doesn't want to be seen but the problem is that she's filmed all the time. So people are catching things like that, and it's scary. Honestly, I find that very scary. Every day I'm discovering new things which proves that I'm right, that she's lying, and that my first impression was the right one. Unfortunately for me, or fortunately for me, I don't know, I usually feel people. I usually know if they are honest or not. I have a voice in my head saying, warning, something's wrong here. For her, I had it right away. I don't understand how Johnny Depp could believe this woman at the beginning. I'm not mad at him anymore for having left Vanessa Paradis for this woman, because he paid the high price. I understood by watching a lot of deposition, we say, deposition in French. For example, his ex-psychiatrist, I don't know how we say. Yes, psychiatre, we say in French. So it's a doctor, it's a real doctor who can give medicine and everything, and it's very long studies to be a psychiatrist. This guy was feeling very embarrassed to have to answer the question, but he was forced to. He didn't have the choice, and he was very nice and gentle about Johnny Depp. And I understood that Johnny Depp was feeling really bad when he left Vanessa Paradis. And obviously they had arguments about the custody, about the children. It's always a battle, you know. It's very rare that things go smoothly in this situation, especially when there is another woman involved. Usually a mother is going to protect her children against the other woman. And in that case, she was probably right, but in the same time, Johnny Depp is a father and he's allowed to see his children. And anyway, it seems that they shared the custody, so everything is fine. But it was obviously not easy for him. And I thought that it was making him more human and more like a victim. It was probably not easy for him. And it's the past. And anyway, it's none of my business. It's not my story. It has nothing to do with that. I never abused men, and my ex-husband never abused me, so I'm not in this situation. But I think that it's incredible that Johnny Depp is still alive. When we hear all what happened, there is something really wrong there. And he could have been in danger, really. I'm allowed to have my own opinion. I don't believe one word of what she's saying. I think that she has really very serious psychological problems. I think that she must be treated for that, because there is something not normal in that, and it's very disturbing to watch someone who is sick like that and who behaves like if she's not. she thinks that we think that she's not sick, but we think she's sick. And I think it's urgent that she does something. I'm a little worried for her daughter. I really think that she abused Johnny Depp. I'm absolutely sure that he never abused her. It's obvious. According to all what we listen to and see, no, it didn't happen. So she is lying. And it's a little disturbing to listen to his psychiatrist. It's very embarrassing to listen to all these things which are so personal. And we are feeling like watching, you know, the private life of someone else. And it's kind of very embarrassing. And I don't feel good about that. But in the same time, we learn a lot about the law, at least in Virginia. We learn a lot about how a man can be abused by a woman, as strong as he probably can be. We learn a lot about men's stupidity in front of beautiful women. We learn a lot about how a woman can abuse a man, and we learn a lot about the fact that the Me Too movement is not only for women, but it must be also for men. And I hope that many men are going to admit and say loudly that they are abused, if it's the case, of course. Nobody must lie if it's the truth, of course. Yes, I think that this trial is going to be useful to something. At least it's going to be useful to Johnny Depp to show his children that he's not a martyr. And that's what he wanted. So just for that, he's right to do it. He had to clear his name. He had to say his truth. And I think that's what he's doing right now. So the trial is not over. I think that there is still 1 week or more. I am not sure, maybe 10 days or so. I think that what is coming is going to be very interesting. And yes, how do I have the time to watch all that? I don't, but I'm working in the same time. I'm preparing things and taking photos for my work. I do a lot of things by listening to this trial. I can say that I listen to everything, but it doesn't stop me from working for what I have to do. However, it makes me feel really sad. Yes, it makes me feel sad. This trial makes me feel very sad because it's not a funny story. It's not fun. Maybe it reminds me a little of my divorce, so it's not fun, except that my situation was absolutely not that. We divorced very, not quickly because it took some time, but I mean, we both agreed, and my kids were already old enough to decide what they wanted, so that was not an issue. Actually, my older son was already living in Japan, and my younger son wanted to come with me to the US, so there was not a problem about that. We had nothing to share because everything was already shared before, so for me it was much more simple, and nobody hit anybody. So it was just sad. I think it reminds me just the sadness of a divorce. I think their story is sad, so sometimes I take a few minutes to do something to cheer me up, you know. So I did some craft, a journal that I made from scratch. When I watch it, I think of Johnny Depp trial, because I did it from scratch during the Johnny Depp trial. You see what this trial is making me do? Yes, I find the time to do that early in the morning or sometimes in the evening when I'm done with my work. So maybe I will do a video about that to explain how I did that. I'm going to show you quickly inside. It looks very old, you know. I will explain to you how I do that. Little secrets. It's not completely done. I still have some stuff to add inside, but I'm in the middle of it. Every day I add something. Oh, La Croix timbrée. So, Lacroix, it's Christian Lacroix. It's a French designer. He created a stamp in France a long time ago. It was what year? I don't know the year. Yes, it was this stamp. I don't know if you can see it. And I really like this stamp. It's written La Croix timbrée. So La Croix, it's Christian Lacroix. Timbré, so it means stamped. But timbré, it has another meaning in French. It means also a little crazy. I like that. And here, it's not finished yet. That is not finished at all. Same thing, not finished. Here. I found that only in LA it was something written somewhere, and I wanted to add that here because I love LA. And I don't know if you see much, because I don't have a lot of light now. And also what I was doing while I was listening to the trial and having my breakfast, and sometimes doing some copies and scanning, and in the same time, yes, I do a lot of things at the same time. I'm a multitask. I am dyeing some fabric or paper with natural things, so coffee, avocado skins, onion skins. That is avocado skin. Can you believe it? It was white originally, it became pink. I will show you also if you are interested. I put some avocado skins in water, make it boil, add something to keep the color, and you can make it boiling during a long time, and then dyes the fabric. Look how pink it is. It's incredible. And so I tried a lot of things. So I painted also some cosmetic bags. Yes, I did a lot of things. I was very, you see, this trial makes me very efficient and productive in crafts. And inside I was putting all what I was doing. You see, I keep all kinds of things that I do. So, okay, this is avocado on paper, so you see how pink it is. And this is coffee. So, I love the smell of the coffee. The problem is I'm not allowed to drink coffee because I have a high blood pressure and it's not good for me. But I love so much coffee, so I dye my paper with coffee, and look at, and it smells coffee, so it makes me happy. So yes, all that is coffee. The problem is that I have some, yes, I have some that I made with, no, it seems that is some coffee, because the ones that I made with the onion skins make everything yellow, but it's not very far from the coffee color, so sometimes it's difficult to make the difference. I don't know if you see me better, the light comes from the left. I'm not very good in creating some light for filming myself. I'm not sure, but maybe this one, or this was some onion. I'm not sure. I will show you all that in another video. Yes, I did that, but I'm not very happy with that because I failed. I will explain to you. It looks like, I don't know what it looks like, but I will use that in a journal or something. Yes, those ones are onions, so they are more yellow than brown, but we don't see really the difference between the coffee and the onion. So I was not very convinced with the onion. Maybe I will have to use more onion skins. I must try again. I also tried lavender. No, I was not convinced. It doesn't dye. It's supposed to dye a little blue, but it was not strong enough. Maybe I should have put more lavender. I love dyeing with natural elements. Anyway, so you see what this trial made me do. You know, more I'm stressed and sad because of that story, which is so sad, and more I'm creating, so maybe that's what I need. Maybe I need more trials which are sad. No, but I don't like trials when people died and where it's horrible. No, I cannot handle that. So I think that I'm going to stop here, or just, that was a painting that I made. It's a transfer of a painting that I made a very long time ago, and actually I made a mistake because you see the letters are not printed in the right direction. So the name, it was Les Chats Américains, it's the American cats. The painting was sold in Paris to an American guy, so was very flattered, but I still had the photo, and I did the transfer of that on this a very long time ago, and I was upset because the letters were not appearing in the right direction. I made the mistake, and I thought, you know what, I don't care because I'm going to use it for myself. And then I painted all the rest here, and this one. So this one is a painting that I still have, but it's a watercolor. And it's about, and I made the same mistake, and it's the Carlton in Cannes. It's a watercolor painting that I did while I was on the beach in Cannes, and I had this view behind me of the Carlton. I was not at the Carlton. It's a very expensive hotel, it's not in my means. I kept that, and I painted all around. I especially like this side. So you see, this trial is very inspiring for the arts and crafts. I'm sorry if I talked about something which is not usually in my topics. Once again, I did something else. But really, I don't know why I'm so interested in this trial, because usually it's not my thing. I think that somehow it's linked to Vanessa Paradis. I can't stop thinking of what she must feel to see all that. It must be hard on her and the children, but it's none of my business. But still, it does interest me, and I thought it was superficial, but it's not superficial. It's important. It's a very important topic, because yes, they are stars, yes, they have a lot of money, yes, they are not going to be poor in 5 minutes, no. But it's not because they are stars and that they have a lot of money that automatically they don't have feelings, you know. They do. And especially Johnny Depp. I don't know about her. I don't understand this woman. I don't get her. I don't understand people like that. She scares me. I heard in a recording that she was giving some pills to Johnny Depp. That scares me. Because I don't know what her intentions were in the end. There is really something very frightening in this story. Maybe I read too many Agatha Christie. When I was a teenager, I was reading a lot of Agatha Christie. I think that I read them all. Yes, I had them all. I gave them away at a point. I couldn't keep everything. But I still have 1 or 2 here. When I see someone who is obviously lying in front of me, that pisses me off. I think that this trial should be over now and should be like, okay, that's enough. You know, she took enough of our time. You are going to say I'm not forced to listen to that. No, I'm not forced, but I want justice for Johnny, as everyone. And I want to be sure that he wins. So we are waiting. And I really hope that at a point the members of the jury will understand. I hope that they already did understand what was going on. Because seriously, I don't know how someone who listened to the whole thing, how someone can believe her. I don't understand. Okay, that's my point of view. You are free to think what you want to think. I understand that if you are a Amber Heard fan, you must be very upset and mad at me right now. But I'm sorry, I'm saying what I think. The trial is not over. We will see what happens in the coming days. But you know, I think that I saw enough already. Really, I don't need more. I'm good. Enough. Poor guy. How could he handle that during years? We say in French, l'amour rend aveugle. It means love makes people blind. he probably was very blind at the beginning. At the beginning, he didn't want to marry her. I'm wondering why. He should have listened to his instinct, you know. He had very good reason not to want to get married. Anyway, fortunately, he's still alive. He has not been killed, and he had the good idea to run away. She asked for the divorce, but because he wanted to leave her. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. At a point, I will do arts and craft videos because I'm very into arts and craft right now. I don't know why. Every time I do paperwork or something official, I need to do some craft. Probably it must, I don't know, make me happier somehow. Okay, that's enough. Don't forget to subscribe, to like this video. Oh, in June, I will probably declutter my big room that I never finished. I will start at least, because Jennibellie is doing a workshop about decluttering our studios, and I'm going to try to do my best. I'm going to try to find some time to do some in it. Okay, see you soon. Bye bye.